everybody, Scabard Gaming here, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft. I'm in Tech It again today, and as you can see I've changed the colour of my power armour. Sorry, I'll go back. Look, power armour. Looks familiar. So, the last time I was in, I did all these defences. Makes that horrible noise. And, it's gross. So, I made all these defences, and kind of showed you guys how to use them properly, but then I went whole hog and surrounded my base with them. The idea of that basically is just that if anything does wander through, it'll die, so I can walk out my door without worrying too much. It doesn't stop arrows as far as I can tell, but skeletons can't see through it. Look, this guy, he'll only come and even with gold armour on, he'll only try and get through if he actually sees you in the first place, otherwise he won't bother. And skeletons don't fire through it with their bows. That was me with a bow, so it's nothing to worry about. So after I did the surrounding of the place with the deflectors, I thought I'll finally upgrade my power armour. So here it is. Here is power armour episode, and like I say, even though I've got butt face, you know, I changed colour. Looks pretty cool, even with butt face. And I'll show you what mods I put in it. Now, originally I planned to show you guys me modding the power armour, but unfortunately, it takes a blooming really long time to make the mods, because they're not EMCable, they're not craftable just by pulling them out of the transmutation table. So instead, I decided, sod it, I'll do it, and then I'll show you guys what it's all about. So, as you can see from my armour parts box, I have a couple of bits left over, some ludicrite ingots. I can show you how to make ludicrite, it's pretty easy to make. Some purple alloy, some blue alloy. I'm going to resort it because it just looks silly. Some red alloys, and I'm pretty much done, in all honesty. I don't need to add anything else. And I got my glove, I've modded my glove, so I've got shears, and yeah, that's right, I've got my railgun, and I've got the whatever they're called. Can't remember what they're called. Lux capacitors. Now I'll show you what a lux capacitor does. Pop. There you go. It's a light source, and you can just plonk them out. As long as you've got energy, you can just keep firing them out. They're really good light sources, and they look pretty cool too, so it's worth doing. Now, what mods did I install? First of all, let me show you how to make a ludicrite ingot, because actually it's not as obvious as you'd first think. It is a crafting material for the HV capacitors, and you're going to want a HV capacitor, and I'll show you why. The elite battery needs a HV capacitor. And that's what I've got in my boots now. I've got an elite battery which is only half full, but that's 2.36 million energy. When I had 500k I didn't need it. Now I've got 2.36 million. I still don't need it, but you can use it up if you're really not careful with your energy. You can use it up, but let me show you ludicrite ingots first. So first of all, ludicrite. Now, a ludicrite ingot can be made with philosopher's stone, but there's no way of actually making ludicrite dust at all. So that doesn't make any sense. Now, you can make it out of a ludicrite block. Again, how do you make a ludicrite block? Now, the other way is to smelt ludicrite dust. Again, you can't make that dust. I don't know a way of doing it without using crafting creative mode. So the way to make a ludicrite block is with an everstar, some plutonium, 2 blocks of emerald, and an ender pearl, which is pretty insane actually. It's really expensive, but with that you get a ludicrite block, and then with that ludicrite block you just chuck it in your crafting window and you've got 9 ludicrite ingots, and that's pretty much all you'll need. So even though I created everything I wanted, I only used 4 ludicrite ingots. So it's not a big deal. You just make one of them. That kind of produces as much ludicrite as you'll need for a full power armor set, and then just keep the rest in case you need to recraft it, in case you die in lava or something like that for some reason. So that's how you make ludicrite. Then the rest of the stuff you can just make however you want. Like I said before though, in one of my other videos, not all of the mods are actually craftable right now. Not all of it is in Tech It Legends. So you have things like the high efficiency solar generator, where while you're in the sun it provides energy, but you can't make solar panels. So that's totally useless. There's no way of doing it without using creative mode. So it's in, but you can't craft it in creative. You got these clocks and compasses and stuff. You can create those. That's no problem. You can create control circuits. Let's see, what else can we make? Got myself the thermal generator. You can't create mechanical assistance. So the robotic assistance to reduce the effect of weight on the user. So you can lower that weight all the way down. Now, this is super useful before you get out of the 2 armor platings. So if you're using iron or using diamond plating, it's a really useful tool. But it's not craftable, because you can't make artificial muscle. Not about using creative, again. If you're in creative mode, feel free. But why do you need power armor? And then you've got power armor leggings. Again, all of this is craftable. I haven't crafted swim boost yet. The reason for that is because the iron thrusters are ridiculously expensive to make. I can afford it, but they just take ages. One thing you've got to remember about the power armor modules is that they may not cost an awful lot. They do require a lot of Teslatite, which is not an EMCable material, so you have to be quite far in the game to actually craft everything you want. But it takes a long time. There's a lot of smelting involved, and you have to use the alloy furnace. Is that an alloy furnace? Yes, you have to use the alloy furnace, and there's no way of speeding that up. It's an alloy furnace. This is what it is. You have to use it. So you can craft lots of alloy furnaces and do a lot of smelting all at the same time, but yeah, it takes a while. So yeah, so let me just go through all the mods that I installed into my items, my power armor. Now the first thing I did is I installed energy shield in every part of my armor, because I wanted the best possible protection. That provides it, trust me. And in my helmet I installed a water electrolyzer, so that creates a bubble of air around your helmet whenever you run out of air, uses up a little bit of energy. Basically means you breathe underwater. I installed night vision. The reason for that is because I can explore caves without having to place torches all the time. Usually I'm in and out. I don't want to be placing torches everywhere. So chest, again, energy shield. The good thing about the energy shield is you can mess around with the amount of energy you put in it. As you reduce the amount of energy, you reduce your armor value. But the good thing about it is that it doesn't add weight, so you don't slow down. It just uses more energy when you take hits. And I've got too much energy, so I'm not really fussed. I've just whacked it all up to the top. I installed a thermal generator. Now the reason for this is that if you generate heat, which you do from installing units, each unit generates a certain amount of heat, you'll actually generate energy from that heat, which is really useful. I installed a glider. Basically you hold shift and you just float forward as you descend, and it's kind of cool. You can carry your momentum for a really long way, so it is very, very useful. Haven't installed active camouflage or magnet. I'm not really that fussed about those. I installed a cooling system, and the reason for that is because once you get over a certain amount of units you start generating heat quickly, and it doesn't go down very quickly, so you need a cooling system to enable that heat to disperse. Now I kind of wanted to generate a little bit of heat because that generates energy with the thermal generator, so I didn't want to go with the liquid nitrogen cooling system, but looking into it I can't produce it anyway because liquid nitrogen isn't craftable in Tech It Legends right now, so that kind of didn't make a lot of difference. Right, legs. I didn't really change the legs. I put in the energy shield, again, protection for energy, and also added a kinetic generator. Now this generates power with movement. It doesn't matter if you're running, even falling, as long as you're moving, then you generate energy. And you can set up this again so your heat generation is quite high on these, and it has a weight involved. But for every 5 blocks that you move, up, down, left, right, doesn't matter what direction or how you get there, you generate 100 joules of energy. So that's really useful, and it's quite cheap as well. So it's definitely worth getting. I've kept my uphills step assist, which allows me to walk up blocks without jumping, jump assist, which makes me jump really high, and sprint assist so I can run super fast. Feet. Again, energy shield. All of them are up to max. Elite battery. Now I've kept that in my boots because I can remove my chest and my helmet, lose the benefits of those, but I always want to keep my boots on, and I want to keep my legs on. Now, I'm never going to use the legs without the boots, and the real reason for that is because the boots take out the full damage. So if I'm using my legs and I jump, I'm going to really hurt myself when I land. So boots. Boots is the one thing I'm always going to keep on. And the only thing that they really have is my battery, my shield, and my shock absorber for when I land. I'm not using the jet boots or anything because I can fly anyway with the ring, which is the... Let me just remember what it's called. Swift Wolf's Rending Gale. I don't look at it very often. Right, so that's the boots anyway. So that's the whole armour set, and I will show you what all that does in a minute. Power Fist. Now this is the most useful tool, but it's also the most expensive to produce modules for. The reason for that is because it requires an awful lot of solenoids, which require an awful lot of red and blue ingots and purple ingots to create. So you tend to run out of ludicrite. Tesla type pretty quickly. Now for this I've got the axe, the pickaxe, the shovel, the shears, and the diamond drill upgrade. So basically I can carve away at stuff with my hand. It's the same as having an axe, a shovel and so forth. So that has replaced my chainsaw and my diamond drill. So now I just have a fist, which is fantastic. It's also my weapon, and I'll show you why. Now with this I can fire out my lux capacitors, which I've shown you already, which is those purple lights. You can change the colour of that, by the way. You can't do anything else with it. You could just change the colour, but you can have white, blue, red, or any other mixture of colours. So if I put them all in and move, I can change that to white, and I'll show you those working in a second. So hold shift and use your mouse wheel to scroll through your modes, and you can see that just above the armour value at the bottom there. So if I go to lux capacitor, and fire this at a block that will accept it. There you go, white. And they are good light sources, so they're well worth having. If you can get a glove working early on in the game, then the lux capacitor is worth having in there straight away. Now, what else did I do? I added aqua affinity. Now that allows me to break things underwater at the same speed as I would on land, which is super useful. If you've ever tried to mine anything underwater, you'll know what I mean. I added a scoop as well, just so while I'm out and about I see an awful lot of beehives, and this will allow me to just collect them while I'm out there, so that's really good. Now weaponry, there's a good selection of weaponry on the gloves. The melee assist is pretty much an absolute must. That basically makes your hand into a sword, so you can just hit things, but it does have a couple of settings. You've got carry through and impact, and basically that means the impact is how much damage you do, the carry through is how much knockback you produce, and you can knock back things quite fast, so it's very useful. You can use that to knock things back and then use one of your firing weapons to actually kill the foe. You've got a selection of weaponry. There's the plasma cannon, which fires out a big electrical ball and then causes an explosion. It's not particularly useful if things get up close because it does hurt you as well, and it's quite slow moving, so you've got a chance of missing from far away. It's a mid-range weapon. I'm not a big fan of it. Uses up a lot of energy for what it does as well. Now, the railgun I do like, and that's the one I've chosen, and I've added the maximum amount of damage, so it uses a lot of heat and a lot of energy. It produces a lot of heat and uses a lot of energy, but it is worth it, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'll actually demonstrate this one to you. You got the blade launcher, which is like, it fires a spinning blade, launches a spinning blade of death, or shearing. It does shear stuff. So I don't think it shears sheep though, I think it just kills them dead, but yeah, so it shears stuff, but it also shears leaves off the trees and stuff. Yeah, don't know why you'd ever use it for that, because you can just install a leaf blower. But there you go, and then you've got the lightning summoner. I've never used the lightning summoner, and it is flipping expensive and takes a while to make, but I will probably produce that later on, and I'll show you guys again once I've done that. So that's all the mods. I'm just going to go outside and I'm just going to show you. So that's my shearing. I'm going to show you the railgun. Now, it's night time, so that's perfect. Now, the railgun is a single shot weapon. Like I say, it does produce a lot of heat, and it does cause knockback, including to yourself. So if I just jump up here, it's quite long range. Pop. There you go. That's one dead creeper. That's one dead zombie. That's one dead spider. It's very, very powerful. Aha! You thought you were going to trick me then, didn't you? Not going to happen. It's not as long range as you want it to be, but you can snipe stuff, so that's pretty useful. Just get a couple more shots in. Sniper duel. There you go. Not much of a duel, was it? But as I was saying before in another video, you can use this to fly higher. So if I'm running and I jump and I'm not going to make it over, there you go. So it just allows you to get that extra height. And then if I hold shift, I can fly. So this is my glider. So the whole point of power armor really is maximum mobility across the map. That is its absolute primary use in my eyes. It does provide that. You can just run amazingly fast. You can jump over. See, and you can jump out of the blast range of creepers, and then pop a cap in it while while increasing your jump height. I thought that was quite well done. I see ya. You're not getting in here. I can't imagine what Tekkit PvP would be like with these things. It'd be insane. But fun, I imagine. And that's kind of it for power armor. It is an incredibly useful tool. So let me just quickly show you the two bars on the right hand side of the screen. If you look at those, the 2.4 million is my energy, but the other bar, which rarely has anything in, is actually the heat. Now if I'm running, you can see it sort of jumps up and straight back down again as the cooling system kicks in. If I'm using this, that produces a lot of energy, a lot of heat. My cooling system does keep it under control, but it's actually producing energy while I'm heating up. Now with all those shots I used like hardly any energy actually, any energy at all, and I get it back just by running quickly. Even by flying, using Swiftwall's Rending Gale, every 5 blocks I'm going to produce quite a lot of energy. You get more from the kinetic generator. But there you go. See, it's just gone up. So you even produce energy just by flying around. I think you just produce slightly more by running. See, he won't fire through. He'll just follow you in. But the kickback on this gun is insane. But you can see why I think this is the best gun. Yeah, it is. But that's probably it for now. I don't want to bore you guys too much. I'm trying to keep my videos a bit shorter, as suggested by people on after my vlog. And thank you very much for your feedback on the vlog. That was the last video I posted before this one, so thank you. But I'll do my usual sign out looking at my power armor. My slight Iron Man colours going on. No connection. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. And thanks again for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.